So this is a debate one podcast about the things that is going in the world right now, and I will ask you questions, and you will tell me your opinion, and we will discuss it. Uh, okay.
Okay, yeah, it sounds perfect to me. Pretty good. I'm ready.
So our first point is that college should be free for everyone. Everyone is like students with no economical support. That it should be free education for the college to have college campus classes. What do you think about it?
Well, it's a pretty controversial topic, like to refer to. But I really think it should be free for everyone because like everyone deserves a chance to like educate themselves.
And how do you think you should pay the teachers? Because one highest percent of the money we pay students is for the teachers. So if we will not pay, how do you think should we pay the teachers? Like taxes or other economical support like uh, universal, campus student more professional. Um, so how do you think you should pay the teachers and mm, and maintain the not economical and uh, the education level.
Well, I really think that we should pay teachers at least better than how we do it right now because they're sustaining the youth of the country, and the youth of the country is the one that in the future is gonna run it. And they're one of the jobs that make the least amount of money, even though they also make most of the jobs for the kids, like teach them and show them the good way. So I think we should pay them more. And there are other jobs that get uh, pay more than teachers without having the same effect or impact in the future.
But which money you will use to pay teachers because the education is free. They are not paying the education. They're not paying the college campus. They are free, and what money you will use. That is the principal question. What I ask you right now.
Yeah, that was not what I was trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that they make um they make the future because they're teaching the kids, so they're basically making the future and all the future jobs. And yes, education is free. And I think, as I mentioned before, there are other jobs that get paid less than teachers and don't have the same impact as them. Like for example, painters that get like hired to like paint one of their one of the things. Like they don't have the same impact. I mean, as teachers do. Like they're not Da Vinci or anything to get more pay than the teachers. I really think the money should come from like I the government is the one that pays the teachers, right? So I think the government should take action in this controversy and take the money from the jobs that are less necessary or the jobs that don't that occupy a lot of money for what they really do, and put them towards the teachers that are the ones that form education.
Okay, very good. So our next point is about the Ukraine and Russia conflict. What is your opinion about the conflict? What is your opinion about the Russian government decisions, and also how do you think the NATO responds very well to the conflict, or they should be better, or they are very bad?
Well, about the conflict that is currently going around with Russia and Ukraine, um, I mean, it's a pretty serious topic. We're talking about a war that could explode, and maybe we're having World War III or not. But it's yeah. I really think that the actions that the Russian president, Mr. Putin, is taking, they're not good for the. They're there's not what I expected from him because I expected more, and it's not what it's not is at the end. It's not gonna be something good for not only for Russia and Ukraine that not Russia but Ukraine has suffered like way too much already. A bunch of refugees in a bunch of countries. It's really painful, and but it's gonna impact the whole world because if this situation keeps going, it eventually will drag other countries like the United States, and that might initiate even more problems. And I recently heard that the Russian government um, talked to the Mexican government about helping them and to help them take back the United States territory that they lost. So it's a pretty serious thing because if it's not stopped right now, like they have to stop. They have to start talking about it. It's gonna explode into a whole war that's gonna affect millions of lives, like it already did in a bunch of wars, especially in World War I and World War II. And I'm sorry I didn't hear the last question that you asked.
Decisions, the NATO. Do you think that they are doing right about the conflict, or they're doing pretty bad, or they could be doing better? That was the last question.
Well, I really think they could do it better. Like they definitely can improve. All of us can improve, but I really think the conflict that's going on, they're not handling it in the best way possible. They're doing a pretty good job, but we haven't had a war since in 70 years. So, uh, I'm sorry, we haven't had a war that could explode to this magnitude in like about 70 years or something. So, I think they could do a better job and handling it.
But a better job like what? What is your solution? Well, they could be a better job because they can't enter in the conflict. They can't send soldiers to fight against the Russians. What do you think could be better, as you say?
Well, about that, I don't know if it's like the right thing to do, but it's my opinion of what they should do. I think they could do two things. The first is like, as I mentioned before, like talking it out. I mean, I don't talking it out, going to democracy and just like talking the problem and find a solution so it doesn't explode. But I think we have passed already the stage of talking, so I really think we should, sorry, they should send soldiers to like fight it and stop it as soon as possible. Because if they don't stop it as soon as possible, it's gonna affect more lives in the future.
Your answer was not bad at all, but it's pretty good because the NATO can do that much things because if they send soldiers, they they have a probably that Russia will send nuclear weapons to Europe and destroy all that continent, also to United States. But it's good. It's very good. So our next point is about the first world countries should use nuclear energy as the primary energy resource.
Because it's something healthy to the world and very good overall.
So the most people argue that we should use nuclear energy is because it's one of the cleanest energy ever. If we use that energy, the climate change and the greenhouse gases will be not the highest level as is right now. In the solar energy is a good choice, but have a lot of consequences. Like it's only using light, and it is a cloudy day. We can use it. So there is, I know there is a better energy like a hydro energy, but it's I just saying because there is people that argue that and they think that we should be better using nuclear energy. And about the accidents what happened in the past like Chernobyl, we we already know how to use it and how to avoid that kinds of accidents. It's just opinion in general and also my opinion too.
Overtime could cause the more consequences to the human body. So yeah, we could use it, but I really think we have not um learned completely how to use it. And as you said, and as you mentioned, that solar energy had a lot has lots and lots of consequences. So does nuclear energy. I mean, do you want another incident like Chernobyl to happen?
So I understand you say that you recognize that nuclear energy is one of the most cleanest, but it's still dangerous. And with all that we study how to use it and see how to avoid the accidents, but we do not use as a primary resource, right? That was why I'm trying to understand. But in all case that it is good, but we should be more worried about the green gases, no, the greenhouse gases, what is affecting our planet right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It is one of the most cleanest energy humanity has ever known, but we should first learn how to properly use it and not use it as our main means of energy because that could result in more trouble than we already are with the greenhouse gases. But yeah, I completely agree with you on that.
Okay, very good. Our next point is the United States should recognize the Taliban as the Afghanistan government, the terrorist organization that take over Afghanistan by the force, and if the United States should recognize as the official government of Afghanistan.
I mean, no. My opinion is kind of divided in two different sets. Well, the first one is a no because, as you mentioned, they took they took Afghanistan by force. But I would also say like a kind of just like a maybe because the Taliban have been the government of Afghanistan for how many years? Like 20 years or something. So it's really about it. But my primary opinion, it's gonna be a no because it's because they took it by force and you know that doesn't result in good things overall.